This is another episode of Drunken Public. I'm your host, Victor Santana. Appreciate everybody watching. And we're a show about bringing people together one beer at a time in this wonderful beer community. I'm brought to you by Dave and Dave from Epic Brewing. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you for coming back on. We didn't run you away.
Appreciate you having me back.
And thank you for coming on, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Victor. My pleasure.
You're probably the most successful person I've ever sat with.
I'm sorry, man.
So, weird question. I'm trying to write a petition to get Dave over here in helicopter, a small one, so he can travel around Texas.
I can get around Texas a little easier.
Texas
Nice.
is big. It's a little big, man. He does a lot of driving, and he does a lot of. He works hard.
Just have to sell a little more
A
beer.
little more beer, all right.
How can we help?
The Epicopter.
You guys drink.
We drinking it. Trust me, we're drinking it. So what we gonna do along the
Hear that,
way?
everybody. Drink more beer so the Epicopter can be a thing.
Yes.
I like it.
Oh my God, yes. All right, I need everybody to sell out all the. Every time you find Epic Brewing at any place you want it, I want you to buy everything.
There you go.
As much as you can drink.
We want that too.
Yeah, we need to make this
done.
happen. But no, thank you for coming on so much. We wanted to, our journey a little bit about Epic Brewing. We accidentally discovered you guys doing our podcast with just me and my friend. Unfortunately, not here. Sorry, Drew. But we instantly fell in love with you. This time around last year, we found Baptista, Son Baptista, Big Pat Baptista, and we accidentally bought all three, and then we drank it in different order. We drank the triple first, then we did the Son of Baptista, then we did Big Baptista. But we loved every single one. So, is that your baby? Is that your creation?
Yeah, the naming protocol is. Yeah, the beer. The name is something I came up with because we originally were playing with a beer called Jack Mormon Coffee Stout, and so the Mormon, the regulatory body in the state of Utah is pretty much Mormon, right?
Yeah.
So theocracy.
Yeah, they're trying to play a nice little name on it.
So yeah, they didn't like the name Jack Mormon Coffee Stout, so I'm like, okay, I'll make fun of my own religion. We'll see what you guys think of that. And so I'm like, Big Bad Baptist.
That is bad. But see, I had it backwards since we tried the Baptista first.
Right.
I thought it was from the baseball player.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
I was like, man, it must be really
Awesome.
like Batista. I was like, I don't understand why, but yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
I like
we
your
should
story
get his
better.
endorsement though.
There
That
you
would
go.
be better.
That's what I thought you guys were. I swear to God. So I'm gonna put a clip on that episode right now. We argued about that because we didn't know what the history of it.
Sure,
so we were
sure.
like, I don't understand why they like Baptista that much, but they must be a big fan. I don't know when they're in Colorado and Utah. So, but yeah,
That's funny.
So, what made you want to start your own brewery? So I heard a little bit that you're a successful businessman, and then you made an adventure of opening a brewery. What was that decision like? And
Yeah.
What made that decision happen?
So my partner and I had sold the aquaculture company, and we were good friends and we were successful together. And we were talking about different businesses, and then in Utah, this law changed, and at this time we were talking about like what business we could do, and the law changed, and it allowed a small brewer to sell direct to the public. And why is that important? Because in Utah, full strength beer, like what we all normal people call beer,
Everything in front of us.
anything above 4.4% alcohol by volume, 3.2 by weight, is sold through the state system. But there was this little loophole they created for the Olympics, and no one was taking advantage of it. My partner and I had looked at starting a bicycle company or some other passion project, and we were really passionate about beer, and we're like, holy shit, this is a loophole and nobody's doing it. And we're like, we wrote the business plan, we went and we planned it all out, and we went to the state, and we're like, hey man, we want to do this, to the Utah Division of Alcohol Beverage Control. Not quite Texas, but much worse than Texas. Because it's Utah. We're like, oh no, that's illegal, you can't do that, man, you'll never succeed. And we had to convince the regulatory members to do it. So, and we were super passionate about beer. I brewed all kinds of homebrew at the house.
You were a homebrewer, okay.
At a certain time, yeah. So after I sold that company, worked for the aquaculture company, and my partner went off to get his MBA after he worked for those guys for a couple of years.
Phenomenal.
And then I started to have some time to homebrew. So I was homebrewing all the time. because my wife's like, get out of, go do something. So I was riding a bike and home brewing. I had a pretty big house, and I had this one room where I think I'd have, I think the federal allowed limit is 200 gallons at a time. I had about 200 gallons at a time.
Yes, 200 gallons.
Recorded.
Yeah. Just 200 gallons.
No, 200. I think was the maximum. Based on the number of family members, I don't know. I did the math.
Thank you took up biking, or else all that beer would have
Man. But so yeah, it's a passion project. My partner Peter loves beer. He would come over and homebrew. And that loophole was just like, shit, let's make a go of it. So we took the capital from when we sold that business and started Epic in 2009. So,
well, I want to say I'm glad you did this and not a bike shop, because we wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously,
man.
I don't ride a bike. I'm a good 300 pounds. But I really enjoy your beers. I'm not a big fan of sours, and then run into Davis one day, and he was like, well, if you don't like sours, try the Brainless series you have, but the pineapple one. He's like, if you don't like sours, try this one. If you don't like this one, let me know. We tried it the next time I did a podcast. We drank it on there. It was probably my favorite sour I've ever had still to this day. So I'm glad you did this business. I'm really excited for you guys' growth and new beers you guys are doing.
Yeah.
But on that note, I'm gonna try my first beer tonight. I'm gonna try is Rhino.
Nice.
You named this.
You know, I did. So I did name the original version of this. So the neighborhood that we started in the brewery in Denver after we expanded to Colorado is called River North, and the acronym is Rhino, R-I-N-O. So this is the second iteration of that beer. It's a juicy American pale, and brewed by Justin, who came originally from Utah. I don't know. I love that beer. It's a drinker. It's a drinker.
This is my personally favorite beer of ours right now. The Los Locos is a close second, but this one I just want to pound like all day in the Texas heat.
Yeah.
I can see when you just said that. So we had a previous podcast. We had a conversation because I love stouts. So I can see myself drinking Batista, Big Pep Batista all the time. But he had a different opinion. He's like, you work all day outside in the sun. Or you finish working out, you come home, you're gonna grab a beer. You're gonna grab that Big Fat Batista, or you grab something light and refreshing? It's like, it's a good question. I don't know. I'm not in that state. It's a good question though. But I can see you hanging out in the sun. So I just had one sip, and that doesn't tell the whole story.
Right.
But it's super refreshing that first sip, which is a phenomenal thing. I can see why you want to drink it and pound it.
Yeah. It's it's light, juicy, bitter, but it still has that fruity finish. Like, it's awesome. Like it hits almost everything right between a West Coast and an East Coast IPA, but definitely just toned down to be a little bit more mellow.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I forget the ABV, but I think it's like
5.8.
5.8. So it's fairly drinkable.
It's fairly drinkable,
Yeah.
a solid beer. This is, again, better than most average mainstream beers. By far, by a mile better. And then the alcohol content is almost 2% more.
Yeah.
Almost 2% more. So this is phenomenal. And it's really good.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that beer, how it came out.
Oh yeah, it's a killer beer.
It's got a little rhino on the can.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to get the cans.
Yeah, we don't have the
I
cans.
always love that whenever people always ask me, because it says capital R, little I, capital N, little O. Oh, what elements are those?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tough question. I should know that answer.
It's not
A
one of
biologist.
them. Technically, nitrogen is a capital N.
Yeah.
But NO
NO.
is nothing.
Nitrous oxide. This beer has nitrous oxide.
Yes.
But RI is nothing.
Actually, you have a squeaky voice.
It's not anything?
No, it's not.
You looked it up.
I did.
You consulted the chart.
I might have.
Elemental chart.
All 137.
We will consult the chart on this video right now, and we will see if he's correct. If he isn't correct, we're just gonna skip that altogether. But if he's not, we're gonna have this all over the screen right now.
If I'm right, I told you so. If I'm wrong, I was drunk when I said it.
Fair enough. But that's refreshing.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Oh yeah.
And it was a good change. So behind us, we're also I want to talk about the venue we're in right now. So we're in Thirsty Growler. So I want to thank Thirsty Growler out here in the county for allowing us to record here. A phenomenal facility. They do really good things here. If you're in the county area or you're traveling north, you have to come by here. They have some of the better beers on menu here. So check the website. You can see what beers on tap. They're great people.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
Good
Wanna
crowd
say-
here tonight, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to say
Great
thank
place.
So yeah, personally, I want to say thank you to Mike owner of the Thirsty Growler and Thirsty Growler and all their staff. So cheers to you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So that was good, man. What I was saying behind us is a bottle share. That's why it's really loud right now. It's a bottle share.
Bottle share, yeah.
So I tried a few of their big boy stouts over there, and they were good.
Yeah.
But that was a perfect blend.
There you go.
to start the road off. So we have some kind of questions we're trying to ask consistently.
Sure.
One of my questions for you, but since you homebrew, it's kind of be a little different. What's the worst beer that you were excited to try that you made?
The worst beer that
You have. I asked the question wrong. So
Yeah,
what's the recipe you had that you thought was going to work out really well, but failed?
Good Lord. Recipe that thought it was going to work out really well, but failed.
Is there one? Because
Oh yeah, there's got to be at least one.
I don't know. You're a scientist.
We've thrown away our share of beer. Oh shit, yeah. Stuff looks good on paper, even for scientists, man.
This is true.
Oh man, you know what? So before Los Locos came along, I was like intrigued with. So I did this at home. I must have been drunk off my, you know what? I took Brainless Belgians, a golden ale, and I put peppers and lime and like salt in it, and I was like digging it that night, right? And I brought it in, and then we brought it in the brewery, and we're trying to work on it, and the flavor, and it always tasted like hairspray. And they're like, Dave, this is terrible. I'm like, no, trust me, I had it. It was really good. So I think that's the time that I was like, I don't know, maybe most misguided.
Well, you started on a bad foot, but that's a horrible beer. If it tastes like hairspray.
Oh, it was terrible, and we didn't execute that. But what's cool about those kind of failures?
You learn.
Yeah, you learn, and then we started playing with those elements, lime and salt. We didn't use black pepper, but lime and salt in a lager, and that made Los Locos, which is one of my personal. I'll drink that, and then Los Locos I drink about 2 to 1 because it's just easy to drink. And then I'm really bad at dirty little secret. I make micheladas at home. And I put in.
You say that like it's a bad word in Texas. That's
a wonderful
thing.
That's
I get all crazy at tequila or triple sec with the Los.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful
But then
thing.
I'll take like a Korean like spicy marinade sauce and add a little of that, make a Korean.
That's different.
Inspired enchilada
But
with the tomato spinach.
Yeah, man. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a beauty. You need to move to Texas, and everybody would love you for those interactions, especially your friends that drink with you the next day.
I told you, I've got it on. Like, it's not often, but I got it on a couple menus, especially in Amarillo. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
The Michelocos. The Michelocos is a thing.
I'll drink that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a dirty little secret.
It's a beautiful secret, sir. It's a beautiful secret.
Need to have you and the crew like drive down to Amarillo, man, because it's halfway between here and Denver.
Yeah, why not? Hell yeah.
Sounds like it's like 9,000 miles.
Well, Texas
is big.
Texas is like 1,000,000 miles, to be honest.
It's like 350 plus.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's doable. Maybe sometime. We'll do a michelada run down there.
I'll invite you to one of the fests. One of the fests. The fest.
The fest in Amarillo. I don't know if Amarillo has many fests, but they have one. But no, we love micheladas out here. I'm not a big fan of micheladas.
Yeah.
But if I have a hangover, that definitely cures you. That definitely is a cure. But so talking about Texas, I want to apologize. You said it's too cold. It's cold right now in Texas.
Yesterday, and there was still ice on one of the tables at 3 in the afternoon. I'm like, yeah, it's cold. Came down here for warm weather.
From Denver. Yeah. I'm saying from Denver. Do you live in Denver, sir?
I live just west of Denver, so
Yeah,
in
it's
the
cold.
mountains. Oh yeah, it's cold.
cold.
It's legitimately cold, but it's it's cold, but they can warm up.
We can. It's nothing like we looked at the weather when I got here. It was 59.
Right.
It was like 60 or 58 here.
Right.
Something. We're at the same temperature right
Yeah, right now we're the same as Denver.
Yeah. But we will never see negative.
But that's a mile high, man.
Yeah. Fair enough.
They're roasting up there, man.
Literally.
Yeah. Fair enough. I've been to Denver in the summertime. It's not fun.
Yeah.
So, but I want to say we're gonna try our next beer.
Right on.
And then it was this one.
Yeah, sour.
It's the Oak and Orchard Cab Sav
Cab Sav.
with cherries, black currant, and blackberry.
So it's kind of a wine-inspired, barrel-aged, food-aged sour beer. And we bought the fooders that made this from a winery. It's right across from Firestone Walker's barrel project up there in Paso Robles. Not Paso Robles, damn it. Anyway, south of Paso Robles, the wine country. So really cool fooders. That's the inspiration for the beer.
Nice.
It's very tight. I know you're not a fan
That's
of
too
sours.
sour.
It's
You
very,
might not,
very tight.
This might be
I
a
can
bit much
smell
for
it.
you.
I can smell it.
Might be a bit much. It's not pineapple-y at all. It's more like a. It should
Like,
taste like a
I
sour.
get that really robust cherry. Like I really like that.
You get that tart cherry, definitely tart. I can feel
Yes.
it all the way through my throat.
It's really sour.
Yeah, it's tart.
Yeah.
It's tart. It's not bad taste, whatever. I just not the tartness doesn't do it for me. But it's delicious.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of tartness, so that's
Yeah.
the only reason I'm saying I'm not a big fan of it. But it's not. It has no off flavors. It tastes great. If you
Right.
like cherries, this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And if you like sours, I can see this being phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
If you love sours.
People that love sours, Davis really enjoys that. Yeah, he thinks
a
it's.
huge fan.
I like the pineapples like you, but this one here, which I think you're trying next, that's
Yeah.
my personal
Is
favorite.
it okay?
You might not
Did
like
you make
it.
this?
No, I didn't make this. This is the vision from the sales team and the people that do the sour beer program.
Okay.
So that's their vision, and when I tried it, it was just like so presently. I was like, yeah, this is money. Because my national sales manager Darren is like, I think this is the best sour beer we've made, and I tend to agree because it's super balanced. It's
Yeah.
more fruity and juicy. This one, so I'm a big wine guy too, growing up in California and just inspired by wine. So I like those, but I'm with you. You can't. It's a sipper because there's so much acid going on.
It's going, you feel it, like I have a little cut in my lip, so it feels it in my cut in my lip. And then it hits the back of my throat, then it's going down my throat.
Oh yeah.
I feel it all the way.
And don't pound that because you'll like have it in your stomach later and be like,
I feel like I'm gonna have a
man,
heartburn.
that's oh yeah. Definitely.
You wusses.
So I think there's at some sour fest they actually have there's sour fest around the country, right?
Yeah.
And they have buckets of Tums that you can just grab and.
I would say you will have to. It's so acidic.
Yeah,
You
it's
have
pretty
that.
acidic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been in wood for quite a long time. We use lactobacillus, and we do some little tricks in primary too. So there's a lot of acid in that beer. No doubt about it.
What I would say is I really, really wish my co-host were here, Drew, because he loves sour candy and loves this. He would so it's different from me. I say I can see the flavors that's really good. He would absolutely love it because he likes the tartness of candy and he loves sour beers. And I can see him really, really enjoying this beer by a mile. Enjoying it. It's a really good beer, but not for me.
Yeah, that's all right.
But I'm gonna finish it though because I am a man.
No.
No, you don't have to do that. Because trust me,
I
I'll
haven't
finish it.
had that beer in a while. I have a taste.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll just thank you.
Top mine on.
Oh, that's what you have?
That's what I've got.
Yeah.
You gotta clean the palate. That's nice. Very sour. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you actually pucker whenever you're drinking it.
Oh yeah, it's really sour.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like I said, for me it would be a sip, like a long evening sipper.
Yeah.
Just that amount too. Sharing a 375 with a friend.
There you go.
Maybe, you know what, it makes me want, because I recently got hip to eating food with beer. Because usually I'm the type of person where I'll drink first, then I'll eat, or I eat first, then I drink. But I recently hung out with a few people who typically make their beers to be paired with food.
Right.
You know, and that's a great concept. Like,
Oh yeah.
But I wonder what would be good pairing with this.
So anything you would, so for me, because it's inspired by a Cabernet Sauvignon, anything you would pair with wine. So believe it or not, I think it'd go great with a nice fatty ribeye, or any cheeses like fatty cheeses. Not so much a dry cheese, but like feta
I
salad.
like some creamy cheese too. It's
Creamy
almost
cherries.
cut through it.
Yeah.
Salad with feta cheese and cranberries.
yeah.
So it'd cut that sweetness and the fattiness. Yeah, that's a good food beer for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely.
You know, because once you coat your palate with those fats and those flavors, and you have a sip of that,
It eases the.
yeah, it kind of clears the palate.
I like the thought of the cranberry salad. Like that actually, now I'm like,
You
we had that like big lunch, and now I'm like, kind of want a cranberry salad now.
Little feta cheese.
Little feta cheese.
That was that sweetness And with the salad, there, like the leaf flavors would be wonderful offset with this.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the so pairing with food, like that's the contrast, right?
Yeah.
So complement or contrast, I forget all the C's.
It's a compliment, cut, and contrast.
So it's a contrast and cut with the sour beer because you have the contrast with the sweet of the,
like sweet versus
cranberries,
sour.
and then cutting all that fat, right?
See, I'm learning more things now. See, I'm on this whole new world of experiences. Also,
we will teach you.
Yeah, I also had beer and cigars. I'm not a big fan of smoking cigars, but I do enjoy me a good cigar from time to time. And then I had a really nice heavy stout with it, and that was a wonderful experience, that combo.
Oh yeah.
You know?
So that's a thing.
Is it a thing?
Oh yeah, I was just in Florida, and it's
Yeah, well, when I came back from South Carolina, when I was in South Carolina, I sold Baptist to a cigar bar.
yeah.
So that was.
I can see that working. That's what I was saying. I was really wishing that we could smoke a cigar in here.
Okay.
I think the
Don't
Big
tempt
Baptista,
me, man.
the Big Baptista will go phenomenally well with a cigar.
Yeah, those big dark barrel aged stouts go really nice with it. Yeah.
I'll help you out. You know
Thank
what?
you.
I'll be a nice guy. I'll help you out.
Good rescue.
I really appreciate it. I would drink it. I don't know. I grew up in a Latin household, and I grew up with nothing but bartenders. My whole family bartended. I grew up around a drinking scene, so I learned how to bartend really early. Also learned how to do like crazy drinks, like kickbacks and stuff like that when I was 5, so I could help bartend for my family. So I'm really big into drinking, but and the rule in our life, so drinks don't go to waste.
Just waiting on 5-year-old Victor. You want that on the rocks or straight up?
Kind of. Everything was on the rocks, so my job was simple. Everybody had their one drink, and I had to make that all night. Just simple. And as the night goes on, it's always the ratio changes from a balanced drink to a more alcoholic drink. So it's like, all right, so I'll make a mojito in the beginning. It's a good mojito, basic, well balanced, and then at the end of the night, it's mostly just rum. Mostly rum and some mint in there, like you say.
Some mint.
Yeah, that's it. So
It's getting late. Less mint.
yeah, just rum at this point.
Nice.
But the second, there's any beers you guys haven't made yet that you want to make? Because you mentioned earlier that your sales teams and people contribute to making beer, like the ideas of making beer.
Right.
But is there any you want to try to make, or any ones you wanted to make and never happened?
Like personally?
Yeah.
I feel like honestly we have so what you know and what we have down in Texas is actually a fraction of our full portfolio. So
Okay.
I honestly feel like it's definitely not a loaded question or anything like that, but it's almost like we have like 80 beers almost in our portfolio. It's a ridiculous number of beers in the portfolio.
Fair enough, because you would have told me, like, how many beers do you think we have? I would have been like 10, 15?
In the Texas market, I try and keep it between about 10 and 15. And then we have stuff like the Baptist variants and the sours come out, and that adds a few, and then those will go away, and it'll go down to like 11, and then something else will come out, and it'll fluctuate.
Okay.
But like if you go to our tap room in Denver, at any given time there's 25 beers on tap. And every day the menu is different every day.
25 different beers.
Yeah, 25 different beers. The menu rotates every day. So it's
Okay.
constantly, we're like, oh, hey, this finished? Great, put it on.
Why didn't make a road trip?
Definitely, you gotta come out. It's an awesome brewery.
So,
And we've got some cool shit in development.
yeah.
We've got a beer that no one's making, so I'm really excited about it.
So tell me what day I need to be there.
need to put up like the top secret sign.
So
here.
we're still working on. So we know the concept. It wasn't my idea, but I made the beer first, and I've had it, the first iteration, and everyone who tried it. I was out in California at our California brewery, working on the iteration with the brewmaster out there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is a home run. This is a home run."
That's exciting. Your
Yeah,
face
it's really
says it. Your
exciting.
face sells
No,
it more
I'm
than your words.
I'm super stoked about it. What else? We've got anything that I can tell you about that we have in development. We're always working on new beers. That's what's cool about.
So that's a great thing. So there's things you're working all the time. So that question is null and void. So you're always working on something that you guys are interested in.
Yeah, like interest, and then make sure there's some market interest. Like we did the Brute IPA thing, but I wasn't a big believer. I also wasn't a big believer in the New England stuff. right early on.
Okay.
But the team was like, hey man, look at this.
We really gotta do this.
And, the team, yeah, and I was like, okay. I didn't want to do. I want to do it in a way that we could match like our distribution on. Right? We're not one of those breweries that creates artificial shortage. Right? I want to get our beer out to consumers. Big Bad Baptist barrel aged imperial stout with coffee and coconut, 12, 13, $14. Really fairly priced, right?
Well, that's another thing. So one of my questions I want to ask later, but finish your statement.
Yeah, so my thing is like, consumers, we can't satisfy everybody, I want happy customers, right? So the New England needed to be able to travel, it still needed to taste good in one market versus another, and the team executed that. And the style obviously is here to stay. Finally, the BA opened up. BA was slower than me, so at least I got that. So I don't know. We did the Brutes. I don't think it's going to happen with Brute IPAs.
The thing about Brutes is no one knows what it's supposed to taste like. Every Brute you try is different.
And you know what else? The other takeaway for me is like, no consumers are lining up at breweries. There's no big lines for New England IPAs, man. When they first came out, people were like
lines around the block.
Yeah. So I think it's more brewer, technical side driven, and it's a cool. Don't get me wrong. It's cool beer, undefined, and consumers don't care.
Well, so here's the thing about how fickle consumers are. Yeah.
What's that?
How fickle consumers are.
Right.
It's when you ask someone what's that style, and you're like, I don't know. Is it dry? Is it sweet? Like if you tell me it's all flavors into it, so why did you sell it to me if it's all flavors? What are you trying? What are we trying here? What are we talking about? If everybody has a different experience of it, and no one wants it, like it's not no consistency across the board.
Right.
So that's the problem with it too. And then it's a great thing concept, but who wants a dry beer?
They have their place.
Yeah, I think they do.
In small markets, but listen, if you're gonna sell for no bang for your buck, if you can get to the 50 market, people want to try, like 50% of the consumers want to try dry beers, then that's a hit, right? But I think it's more like 10% if you get it down right.
They're trying to be the next big thing. And it's like, but they don't know what the next big thing is.
So you're thinking to wines, right? Not everybody likes dry wines. Dry wines it's a thing for a long time, and it's been a staple, right? Dry reds, dry whites. It's been a staple for a while, right?
Yeah.
But when it's hard, you got to be into wine to be into. You got to be really into beer if you want something dry.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and it's not well defined, so consumers don't know really what.
Big difference between wine is we've been making wine for over. I was gonna say over 20 years, but I want to feel like way longer than that.
Yeah,
way longer than that.
Wine's really old.
But it's a long history of people enjoying dry wines. You know people like it, but it's a palate that you have to grow as your own wine palate grows.
Right.
So it's tough. I don't know. I don't want to say not to do it, but it's definitely a tough place to be. When you're trying to make it.
Yeah, it's another style, right? We'll see where it goes.
We'll see where it goes. But one thing when I do want to compliment you said it a few times here on the podcast already, is that you listen to your team. They have their own ideas they bring to you guys, talk it out. Right. It sounds like more of a team effort versus one man making the styles. So
now it's
really rare to
There's a
hear
whole
that.
committee.
So,
You guys have a weekly committee, the new brand committee. So.
Yeah, we talk about new brands all the time.
Yeah, that's something that I haven't heard here in my small time with the beer community in Texas. I haven't heard that. I hear the head brewer makes the recipes, and some people may sometimes contribute to the recipe. There's always like the head brewer down is the recipe.
Yeah, the brewer in the end, he's going to make the recipe, but he's got what's the challenge for our brewers above other brewers is like, you got to hear the feedback, you got to like match the flavor profiles, what we're looking for consumers and for the vision of the wonderful liquid we want to present.
Yes, sir.
They have to go and execute. So they have a really hard job, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So, the brewers have a hard time.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
nothing away from the brewers.
No, it's nothing to take away, but I think it's even more challenging for them, right? So then they still have to make that recipe.
Yeah.
And that's
really
cool.
No, it is, but I like the committee aspect of it, where you're like, because not one person's gonna have all the ideas.
Oh no.
So you have a committee making ideas, saying this is what I'm hearing, this is what I'm liking, this is what I think might like, and then you try to work out a recipe, and if it hits, great. If it doesn't, okay, well, you try
recipe,
the next one.
style, or direction. Yeah, that's kind of how we break down. Like direction, we might have several directions that we're looking at, and then it's like, okay, here's the definition, and then the recipe. Does the recipe match, right?
Yeah.
Or are we going to give up on the direction? So, yeah, like Brute, it's kind of finally, fading off as terms of direction, and something else is in there, like that one I'm all excited about.
Yeah, he's smiling about it. So I know the camera's directly on him, but for anybody who's really watching this right now, his smile is from ear to ear. Like, I mean, people who's just listening to, for people who just listen to the podcast, it's ear to ear smile about this. So what I'm gonna do is stay in contact with David whenever that date is that is actually gonna be released.
Yeah.
I will fly to Denver with my equipment, and I will have my gimbal, and I'll be there, and I'll be hanging out and trying to drink some good beers.
Awesome.
On that
I hope
note,
it makes you smile ear to ear.
hey, listen, if I get a half of that smile, it's a great beer. But you're trying your personal
And now
favorite.
you're gonna have another sour.
Yeah, but it's a balanced sour.
It is.
I heard, and this one is
This one I feel like is a lot more juicy. Like,
is this the guava?
that's the
Yeah.
big guava. Sour brainless on big guava. Really, drum roll.
So again, there's a hint of tartness, just a hint, and then the sweet comes right back behind it to kick it out the way. So I like this a lot.
You like it?
There you
Yeah.
go.
I still like. See, think about when you like beer, and as being a person, you like what's in front of you, and it's hard to really recall an honest opinion of something else. So the sour pineapples. In my head, I still like, but it's hard to compare.
Right.
What they both do something really well is it has a hint of tartness, and the sweet comes in right behind it. So that's the both factors that I like about it. So this is a really good beer, and this is something I will drink versus that any day of the week.
Yeah. It's very different beer.
Very
different.
Yeah.
And it's funny that it's the same style.
Yeah, it's really similar process, different fruits. This is maybe a little more fruit addition late after barrel aging, but yeah, I like that beer a lot.
Yeah, so similar to IPAs and sours, in the beginning, on this beer journey, I like stouts only, I like sweet drinks, I like heavy drinks, and I didn't like IPAs. I didn't like sours, but what I come to find out, this is a wide spectrum of these styles,
Right.
that you can fit in multiple categories. You have your dry and hoppier IPAs, you have your really tart, bitter sours, but then you have a spectrum going the other way, being sweet.
Yep.
And it's interesting, and in this journey, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Figuring out what I like and don't like.
And
So-
that's what's cool about American craft beer
That's what's good about yes.
in general. I mean,
So-
just how there's this. It's not black and white. There's so much stuff in between. It's a wonderful journey.
So yes. But you said you're a wine person.
I like wine. Yeah.
Oh, but you enjoy wine.
Yeah.
I have a kind of a rough take on wine.
Uh-huh.
And my statement I've said a few times to other wine people on this podcast is beer, in my opinion, is 1,000 times better than wine in this market now, and is an easier curve to get into than wine.
Oh yeah, wine is terribly unapproachable, incredibly complex. I drink way more beer than wine, and in fact, I think winemakers will tell you it takes twice as much wine to make, or twice as much beer to make a bottle of wine than the bottle itself. So, it's wine's fun, but beer's the everyday beverage for sure.
Definitely. There's some good wines out there, so I've been saying this all the time. There's some good wines out there, but the learning curve. It takes someone like me a year ago who never drank beer. I drank beer here and there at the bar just to get in between my drinks.
Right.
Like if I had 2 hard shots, I'm gonna drink a beer
Right.
to slow myself down. I never enjoyed it.
Right.
And on this journey of enjoying beer, I went through the same journey with wine. I had to do it with I was a bartender.
Yeah,
I worked
right.
at a country club. We
Yeah.
sold hundreds of wine. I had to know them. I had to drink
Oh
them.
man.
And I hated every single one.
You hated them all?
No, there's some out there that was really good.
Yeah.
There's very few that I'm like, oh my god, this is a good wine.
Right.
But the learning curve and the description of it,
Oh man.
it's vastly unapproachable for a regular consumer.
Yeah.
And it's not enjoyable. People, wine community, at my small time with them, it's extremely overrated. They're just all like,
Little pretentious.
yes, I don't want to say it. Yeah, it's
Ah,
super
say it,
pretentious.
man.
super
That's
pretentious.
what beer is not.
No, and I thought beer was the same way.
No.
So come talking to you, talking to Davis, everybody I'm talking to the beer community,
Right.
hanging out over there with Bottle Show over there.
Right.
It's a welcoming community because it's really part of the community.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited about the tap room.
And if you didn't like that beer, that's fine, man. That's okay. But some
On to the next
some
one.
winemakers are like all like hurt about it, you know.
Yes, definitely.
But they're probably hurt because they bought all this acreage and they're stuck to like a singular way to like express themselves based on each year's crop, right?
They can start growing
Beer's
hops.
different.
So so one thing I want to shout out to is Oak Islands Brewery here in Texas. I live right by them, and I do talk to those guys a lot. So during the podcast, I asked them because they go. I assume a lot of big breweries. I consider you guys bigger than a small brewery, but you guys check your hops where they come from. You go to the hop fields and check them out. And I didn't know how fast hops grows. I assumed it was like a 7-10 year process, like wine. But it's a 2 to 3 year process to get your hops.
To get the vines
Yeah,
going.
and growing up
I think
tall.
it depends on the strain, but yeah.
Yeah, that's insane turnaround time.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah. And they smell pretty good, I ain't gonna lie. They crush them like the hop leaves. They crushed it in front of me and you can smell it.
The cones, yeah.
Yeah. It smells pretty good. I didn't think I would like that smell, but it does. It smells really, really good.
Try eating
Yeah,
one.
I will have. I don't know about that.
Don't do that.
I don't know about that.
Might be a little bitter for you.
Yeah, I might cry a little bit.
We got a club for the homebrewers that I used to hang out with. You had to eat a hop pellet and see how that went.
Oh, nice.
A pellet of it?
Yeah.
No.
I think it explodes and coats your mouth like for like half an hour. You're like, ah.
Yeah, that's so dumb. That's so dumb.
Hey, I'm in the club, man. You watch it.
Fair enough. You're a champion.
It's hazing.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Every club has the hazing. There's a beer club here. They get into their club. You have a chug of beer. To get into their club.
Which one is this?
Dark Dwarf.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you got to chug a beer to get in their club, and then to be like on their. They have a special challenge to be like cool. You got to chug 3 beers, 3 12-ounce beers in under 30 seconds.
Wow.
Oh, that's not that hard.
It sounds burpy as shit. That's what I think about.
I mean, I'm not in college anymore, so that ain't helping.
You saw me chug the beer last time. I have a hard time
the
chugging beer.
Yeah.
man. I remember we had like a beer Olympics in college, and like they gave me Das Boot, 1 liter boot. Took me 11 seconds. So that's three. That's just shy of 3 beers.
Nice.
Surprisingly enough, I got beat. Some guy who was like twice my size did it in 9 seconds.
That sounds horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, I told nobody to touch me after that because I wasn't feeling too good.
Fair enough. Fair enough. On that note, what are some of your favorite beer games?
Beer games?
If you play.
Man, I have
Oh,
not
no,
played
this is
beer
great.
games in a
Man,
long
no,
time.
I remember I was really proud that I got to teach you in Denver how to play Fuck the Dealer.
You never played Fuck the Dealer?
Apparently, I already did play that.
When we were the first GABF. No, it wasn't the GABF. It was the first like company retreat up to Denver. We did it like February, like 2.5 years
Oh, yeah, I
ago.
remember that.
We were all chilling in that house, in
Yeah,
that
the
big
house we
table,
rented.
and we played card games.
That's right.
That was the card game we were playing. Was Fuck
That's
the
right.
Dealer.
Yeah, we played that. That was fun game. That was way more fun than quarters. I used to play quarters in college. So
Quarters suck.
yeah, well, we weren't very inventive back in the 80s. and
Neither.
90s.
I'm from New York City.
I love quarters myself,
You
but
gotta be. It's only fun when you got people who know how to do it, and everybody's drinking together.
Yeah.
and then no, what makes it best is we got people who know how to do it, and that one who doesn't.
That's the
And
worst.
you're like,
That's me.
yeah, you're the sucker.
Yeah, that's me. I hate it. No, I think one of my favorite games that I think every party should have is King's Cup. 'Cause everybody has
King's
cards.
Cup?
Yeah.
It's all it takes is a deck of cards. There's a rule for each card. Different people play with different rules. I don't know. Do you actually play with the cup in the center?
So there's 2 different versions of cup in the center. You have a cup, empty cup in the center, and everybody pours their drink.
Every
round.
time we pull a king, you have to pour however much you want of your drink into the center cup. The guy who pulls the last king has to drink it.
Oh, okay.
That's the worst version. The version that I like to play is where you put a beer can in the middle, and every time you flip a card, you play the rule game. You put the card on the tab, and if you pop the tab, you have to chug
I
that beer.
played that. I played that.
Okay, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
more fun.
Yeah, that was pretty fun because you're trying to like not pop it.
Yeah.
The card.
When you
You're
start
trying
getting
to
about
weed
10, 15 cards in, you're like,
Yeah.
okay. And you can't, I hate when people just slightly, but no, it's like, that's not in. You gotta put it in.
Gotta get it in there.
Yeah.
Be a man,
Yeah, that
get it
was
in
fun.
there.
That's a fun game.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
But talking about fun games, we're on this another beer journey right here. So we got the Batista.
Oh, that's the Big Bad Baptist.
That's Baptist.
Baptist, sorry.
Big Bad Baptist.
I always mess
Yep.
them up, sorry.
Yeah, it's easy to do. They look alike. I love it.
You're only a letter off. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, solid, I love it.
The classic.
So, what's the difference between the Son of Batista?
So, Son of Baptist, it's called
Baptist,
Son of
sorry.
Baptist, yeah, it's okay. Is not barrel aged, but it's a similar base beer, not quite as much ABV, but it has coffee and cocoa nibs added to it, as you would a dry hop.
Okay.
So, but it's not a barrel aged. So the Baptist and Baptista are barrel aged in whiskey and bourbon barrels for up to a year. So
It's very
that's the
coffee
difference.
focused too. Like we pair with like artisanal coffee roasters across the country to make it. So like there's a Texas version, there's a Colorado version, there's a Utah version.
No way.
Yeah, and so and sometimes like some of the Colorado one will come to Texas, and sometimes some of the Texas one will go to California or something. But it's each market, or the majority of large markets, are supposed to get like their own version.
Yeah, so we work
Which is
with
kinda cool.
we work with a local roaster. So it's usually a local coffee for each market.
For here in Texas, it's Cultivar coffee.
Good coffee. Good coffee right there.
Yes, really makes a great beer.
Yep.
All the partners we select for the coffee are vetted, and they're great people to work with.
Well, I didn't know that.
FBI background checks, you know.
You have to, you know, DEA checks, all that.
Exactly.
Tax
Especially
records.
that Colombian coffee.
Yeah, you gotta check those tax records, where they get their money from. You got to.
Why do you think he's so happy at like 9 o'clock at night?
No. But no, that's one thing I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, and that is a phenomenal thing. Because what makes that a treat is, I know the flavor profile for Texas. When I go to Denver, it's gonna be a slight difference.
Right.
When I go to California, I find it's gonna be a slight difference.
Yeah, sure. Each one. So Colorado's funny because Colorado knows the brewery pretty well. So Colorado consumers are like, hey man, I want some of that cultivar. I want to try what they're getting in Texas. So we sell actually many of their different releases in Colorado because people want to know what they can't get, right?
You always try to find what you can't get.
Yeah, so we keep some of it around, and at the brewery we did a special mix back where we had every version that we made in a certain year. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That sounds
and
fun.
they taste different, man. The
I would
coffee
see it.
component adds so much
It adds
difference.
complexity to it.
Totally.
It has to be different.
Yeah, totally different.
The region makes a difference. The bean makes a difference. How they grow those beans makes a difference.
Yep.
How they roast them, because there's different roasting
Yep.
methods.
Yeah.
It's gonna change all your flavor
Yeah.
profiles.
Yeah.
I'm really into coffee.
Oh, you are? Yeah. Yeah. So we had some crazy one that was shade grown, and I'm not on the team that tastes the coffees, but I had one. I was like, oh, I really dig this one, but this is the same roaster and same bean, but it tastes different to me. And they're like, because last year's was shade grown. I'm like, what? Get out! And they're like, yes, but we couldn't get it this year. You know? Yeah. It's not that it was bad; it was just different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
It's
cool.
exciting. It's like
really
very
cool.
exciting. So that's what I have to go check. If it's in the tap room ever again, I gotta go check that out, because what it would be is all the base beer is the stout,
Right.
and it's a phenomenal stout.
Right.
And then you have your variants that makes it interesting and fun.
Yep.
Oh my
That
god.
coffee's the difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's exciting.
It's really fun.
That's something that I learned something today.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of things today, but that is
We can teach you.
yes, that's probably the best takeaway from this is that if you travel where you guys sell Batista, Baptist,
Son of a Baptist.
Yeah.
That's Son of a Baptist.
Son of a Baptist, it's the variance. It's gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah.
So,
Pretty cool.
oh my god. I don't know where to go. I'm so blown away by that information.
No, it's
I'd say the interview's over.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. No,
we're just gonna go like, woo, coffee.
I'm blown. We gotta go on a road trip. We gotta try all these things.
You know what I love more than wine is coffee. I'm serious, man. I think you too, pretty clearly.
Yeah. So everywhere I go, so I started a new job. So I'm really into my Chemex, my pour-over coffee. It's the best way to drink coffee, especially when you get new beans and you want all the flavor profiles. You know, you gotta get a pour-over. Or if you want to get, I have a roaster too at the house. I have my own little roaster.
The air roaster?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's a little one. It takes maybe 10 minutes. It doesn't take long to roast it. Roast it around, then grind them. So it's perfect.
Nice.
So I enjoy it. But pour over is the only way to drink coffee. Now, whatever pour over version you use, up to you. I use Chemex, but it's the only way you want to drink coffee is smooth drinking. You don't have to add no sugar to it, no milk to it. It's the best way to do it. And I've been teaching my new staff. Because my old staff, Drew, I did the same thing with them. I'm like, okay, we gotta go on this coffee journey together. We gotta drink shitty coffee for the break room.
You're gonna have to drag me along, man. I don't drink coffee at all.
So you don't drink coffee. The thing about it, it's not gonna change overnight. It's like beer. It's not gonna change overnight. But what I
changed overnight for me.
what I can show you is what a bad coffee tastes like, which is like Starbucks and just that big roast
Blonde vintage.
What is the black coffee you get from Starbucks is water's too hot, overcooks the beans, and it's just not good for flavor profile. So and what I want to do is start with people that we're gonna drink the coffee you normally drink with no sugar, no nothing, just sip it. Then the next day we're gonna try French press. It's a different flavor profile, but it's gonna be equally bitter, but for different reasons. Okay. But it's more robust bitter and it's more flavorful. Then we're gonna go to the Chemex afterwards.
So you're gonna get to educate me now.
Yeah, I get into coffee a lot, and I love it.
Yeah, coffee's awesome.
I think it goes hand in hand.
Oh yeah.
With beer and coffee lovers. It's the greatest thing. So, what's your favorite coffee? Like coffee strand, like coffee bean, coffee strand.
Man, I don't know. I'm promiscuous.
Same here.
I've got a friend in San Antonio that owns a Hoppy Monk, and
San Antonio coffee beans.
he sent me some, what is it, merit or something like that, and then I don't know. I'm all over the board. But I prefer darker roast and the sweeter toffee. I haven't put milk in my coffee in, I don't know, a long time, or I don't use sweeteners.
Yeah, I was about
trying to taste the bean, right?
You have to. You have to. It's been a couple of years for me as well. What I would say is I'm on the opposite. I like lighter roast.
You like yeah. So I like the dark. And then I know a lot of people are into the citrus roast, like the citrusy ones. I'm not a fan of that.
No.
I like it either sweet and roasty, or a little bit almost acrid and smoky.
Yeah.
But I like some of the blue. I had one that had hints of like blackberry and hazelnut. That was a descriptor on the brand. It was wonderful. Really small producer.
What I would like for you to try, I don't care what coffee brand you do, if you can find one of a sweet coffee brand you like. I do a blueberry coffee roast in San Antonio. It's a light roast. It's phenomenal. It tastes exactly like blueberries. Then if you find a dark roast that has a smoky flavor profile to it, mix them together.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Grind them fresh, mix them together.
Who's the roaster? What's the bean? The blueberry one.
I can't remember the name right now. It's the same people who make the concoction for Taste of San Antonio. It's a big coffee brand out there.
Okay.
So people, I'm gonna Google it too when I get out of here, so I can make sure I put it on the screen.
Nice.
But it's one of the bigger coffee brands. They make the Taste of San Antonio, which is a wonderful blend of coffees. But it's make a blueberry light roast that tastes like I'm eating blueberry muffins.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to try that. And then you mix that with the.
I have a Oak Cliff coffee. I'm saying it wrong. Oak Cliff coffee beans, or whatever. From Oak Cliff, they're local. They have a dark roast that has a really heavy smoky flavor to it. But I didn't like it. But I bought it one day, and I'm like, I got this blueberry. Let me mix a little bit to it. So I do more like 3 to 2, 3 to 1. So I got 1/3 of it the smoke, 2/3 of it of the blueberries. It's a phenomenal mixture together.
Sounds like a good way to wake up.
Yes. Yes. So it's supposed to be a beer podcast, but we go on tangents. We go on tangents all the time. We talk about a helicopter for a while.
Yeah, but we're really, like, clearly one of our passions at the brewery is coffee.
Yeah.
Clearly.
As you pound a 12% coffee beer.
Darren can't get like 9 minutes into the day without a cup of coffee.
I can't.
Oh, man.
So I don't know how. So you don't drink coffee, but you drink like tea or caffeine in the morning?
Not really. I don't do a whole lot of caffeine, man. I don't do like soda. I don't do tea. I don't do coffee. I'm one of those freaks.
No. You're well rested. That's the thing. You're well
That
rested.
is a lie. That is a dirty lie.
I usually, so I gotta wake up at 3 in the morning. I get ready for work. So this is late for me, but I typically stay up this late anyway. So I have to start my day with coffee. So one day I was like, I'm gonna man up. I'm not gonna drink coffee till 10 o'clock. I was like a zombie. I couldn't talk. My morning spent talking to a microphone for dictation. I couldn't remember what I said. I could read a line and forget it. Or I could look at a line and read it, like make up the whole line myself. Like, it was bad. I got so many emails. I'm like, what are you talking about right now? Like, I got to work at 4 in the morning. By 6 o'clock, I had to take a break. I'm like, I need coffee. I had to go make coffee. Couldn't make it. Not a full day. Not even a full day. So are you like that in the morning too? You
Man, first thing I got is get that espresso machine going.
Get it going.
Coffee machine, yeah.
A good espresso. Do you like? So this is my weakness about espresso. I like Cuban coffee.
Cuban coffee.
I like it a lot, but it's all sugar. It's all
When they add the
sugar.
sugar. Yeah, so I'll drink the espresso without the.
That's an espresso.
Yeah, I know. Like I used to do business in Italy. You had to put the sugar in there, but I learned to just appreciate the flavors of the coffee. I'm all about it. Like I told you, I like the dark roast,
really
man.
Dark roast. You definitely. If you like dark roast, espresso is
It's
good
just
for
a
you.
little teeny bit.
Yeah. What would you say, sir?
The only coffee I ever really I used to manage a hookah lounge, and they had the Turkish coffee, and that Turkish coffee.
I'm not a fan of.
They put the cardamom in there, right?
It was very sweet, like for one thing, but it would like if you were drifting off, suddenly you were wide awake.
So here's the thing about, there's a spectrum to it, right? So the coffee that I like is a pour over. It's more on the medium grain, so it's bigger chunks, right? Turkish coffee,
It's practically powdered.
basically, is finer than espresso coffee.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't basically buy Turkish coffee. You have to grind it yourself, and not every grinder can get that low. So it's a special way to make it. It's an ancient way to make coffee. It's one of the older versions of making coffee. Outside of Africa actually eating the beans themselves, outside of that, that's one of the older versions to make coffee. So it's been around forever, and I hate it. I don't like it. Not a big fan. But I love espresso, but I love Cuban coffee the best. I make it every time my Cuban family comes up here. I make the cafecito. I get my brown sugar. I make that paste. I pour the coffee in there. We're ready to go. I love it. I love it. So this is the absolutely crown jewel of tonight. The Baptista, but I would keep calling all other beers Baptista, but this is the Baptista right now.
the actual big bad Baptista.
So again, I am so happy I accidentally found this, and it's changed my life.
Oh, thank you, man.
That's what we like to hear. Would you say it's been an epic change?
It's been an epic change.
Sorry, somebody had to do it at some
No,
point.
it's been an epic change. You know what I've noticed over the course of doing this podcast? I say the same words a lot. And within conversation with your friends, you don't really notice it, unless they say something annoying. But I edit the podcast. I say the same words too many times. Phenomenal. I'm trying so hard not to say phenomenal.
You're doing a phenomenal job.
I know, thank you.
At some point you should just embrace it. It's part of your style.
There was one episode I did a counter, and it was up to like 50 points. Like 50 count.
Oh, man.
And we're only like 2/3 of the podcast.
It's like, I gotta turn this off. I can't do
Yeah,
this
I can't do
anymore.
the counter. Like, it was insane. It was insane. Like, how many times
Put
I
an
said
infinity sign on the counter.
ever.
Drink for every time, you know? Oh, God, no.
We tried that once. So, in our journey of this podcast, we didn't know what we were doing.
Right.
Like, we're just friends hanging out. And my friend likes beer. I'm learning about beer. So that's how the show started. But I always said, like, the same words. Like, I used to say, shout out to whoever I was going to refer to. shout out to this person, shout out to that place, shout out to that bartender that helped me learn about this beer. And I said it so often, we tried to do a counter. So every time I said shout out to somebody, we had to take a shot. That was probably the worst episode we ever recorded. I was so drunk by the end of the podcast that I was slurring my words. And it was only an hour podcast at the time. And we're at a studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we started at a studio, and it was a lot of fun, but that was probably the worst one. Worst episode ever. So I don't do a counter. I'm not good with counters. And I embrace my lack of vocabulary. At least in conversation. But,
All good, man.
But I want to say...
I love how much we talked about coffee in this podcast. About beer. It's
We
pretty awesome.
did talk about a fair amount of, we talked about a good 5-10 minutes about coffee for a little bit. It was enjoyable. What I want to say is I really, really appreciate you coming out. It's been a wonderful experience. Actually, you sitting down and hanging out with me, and David's coming and hanging out with me. This has been a wonderful experience, and I really will enjoy it. But I want to come out to hang out with you guys more, so any events I can do to help, I can be there. I'll record it live. We can do a live feed of hanging out in Denver.
Cool.
I love Denver a lot too. I love the culture in Denver.
Right.
So it'd be exciting.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Come up and see us anytime.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that special, we'll get that special beer on. Davis will let you know
Whatever-
when that's
I'll
happening.
keep you informed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Once they inform me, I'll keep you informed.
yes. Don't break the rules.
We'll find some good Colorado coffee too.
That's right. There you go.
Yes. And on that note, it was an absolute pleasure. Wherever you're watching this, wherever you're hearing this from, you can find Epic Beer. Buy it. If you don't have Epic Beer in your market, request it. Ask for it. They're a great company. I like almost every beer I've tried from them. They do a great job. I would say a phenomenal job. So definitely check them out. So definitely if they're in your market, drink their beer. They're not, request it. I love you guys. Follow Epic Brewing on all social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Any other major platforms you're on?
Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so I think covers it.
Yeah, I think side note, as we're exiting here, I think you have some of the best brewery Instagram page out there.
Wow, nice.
That's good to hear.
The only one I like as much as yours is Community. Cool. The only difference is you showcase like who you are in your pictures. Community just does great videos.
Oh, nice.
But I like yours because it shows like a homey feel of like the beer picture with the person. It's just
People and the beer. Yeah.
It's just a phenomenal.
Yeah.
So follow my Instagram, definitely. Follow Instagram.
Nice.
So,
Thanks, Victor.
thank you so much. Pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
thank you, man.
Pleasure. Everybody drive safe. Take your lift. Don't drink and drive. Peace.
Have a good night.